UKIP member of the Welsh Assembly, has become the party's interim leader. He's taking over from Freddie Thatcher, who was suspended after less than 4 months in the role following allegations of bullying and harassment. And Mr. Hamilton joins me now from Bristol. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. I mean, Gerard Batten, Paul Watchhope, Richard Brain, Patricia Mountain, Freddie Thatcher, and now Neil Hamilton. What's going on?
Well, it's obviously an apostolic succession, isn't it? But I don't think the world at large is terribly interested in the internal bickerings of UKIP, but they should be interested in what UKIP has got to say on why the country is being turned into an open prison, for example, over the coronavirus regulations, why nothing's being done to solve the immigration asylum crisis, why nothing was done to counter Black Lives Matter's culture war, to rewrite our history, and so many other things. And that's what I hope that I'll be able to do in the course of my term as interim leader.
But I mean, the problem you've got is Brexit was the big issue. The country's voted for Brexit. So I imagine a lot of people think there's no point in having a UKIP anymore.
Well, that has certainly been true, I think. Obviously, a party that was founded initially as a single issue party to get us out of the EU, having achieved that objective, which wouldn't have been achieved without UKIP, by the way, then I suppose a lot of people will think our job has been done. But of course, UKIP stands for a lot more than that. Obviously, Brexit was part of our campaign in the Welsh Assembly elections 4 years ago, but we're going to be fighting the next election on turning the tide of devolution, which is wrenching our country apart. We see in the debates over the Internal Market Bill in the House of Commons this week, where the devolved governments are trying to carve out their own furrow in a way which might threaten the internal market in the United Kingdom. So the integration of the UK is going to be a massive political issue in future years, and UKIP will be at the forefront of that debate. We're the only party that really wants to introduce significant controls on immigration and asylum, and the Tories have added 3 million people to our population in the last 10 years since they've been in charge through immigration alone. And we see from the armada of small boats coming across the channel and landing on our beaches that nothing is being done to stop bogus asylum seekers. So UKIP speaks up on that issue as well, and much else besides.
Are you a racist party?
No, of course we're not a racist party.
Well, you talk a lot about immigration, you criticise Black Lives Matter. Doesn't that suggest to some people you might be racist?
Well, over 75% of the people of this country, in opinion poll after opinion poll, want to see stricter controls of migration. It's not about race, it's about space, actually. If you look at London and the southeast in particular, where the bulk of this mass immigration has settled, it's causing massive social problems, not just in schools and hospitals, but on development, the green belt, and so on and so forth. And this is creating massive logistical problems in this country, and it can't go on. We're adding a city the size of Cardiff to our population every single year. That's why we've got a housing crisis, for example.
Fine, I've got to ask you, what does the formidable Mrs. Hamilton think of the beard?
Well, she strokes it. And cuts it for me. So I grew it out of laziness, actually, at the beginning of lockdown. But then all the ladies started saying that they liked me better if they could see less of my face that's underneath it. So I've kept it.
Neil Hamilton, interim leader of UKIP, thank you very much indeed for joining us.